how do I heal myself so that I can parent them? How do I parent myself first? How do I not let my inner child parent my real life children? Those were the questions I had. Hi, I'm Dr. Robin Koslowitz, YouTube's post-traumatic parenting expert. Today we are going to talk about something that a lot of parents don't know how to do. So someone sent me this meme. Parenting classes should focus less on diapers and more on what to do when you're sad, but you still have to pretend to be a tugboat. This was from Pregnant Chicken. So yes, I feel you, and I have good news for you. I wrote that book, and it is coming out sometime between January and spring of 2025. So here's the thing. If you're a post-traumatic parent, you know this. It's not the diapers and the sleep schedules and the nutrition and the soy formula, milk formula, nursing, right? That's really not the hang-up of parenting. This kindergarten, that kindergarten. Should my kid learn to play the trumpet because it might help their math scores and that would be a really good thing? Those are all questions, but if you've parented more than one child and you're an experienced parent, if you're a child development expert like me, I have a PhD in clinical child psychology, then you know that a lot of that stuff that we obsess about and we make ourselves crazy about as post-traumatic parents actually is kind of details and not all that important. The hard part of parenting is pretending to be a tugboat when you're really, really sad or when your heart is broken or when you're having a flashback or when you're triggered. If this is you, if you want to learn how to parent when you're feeling really, really, really sad, but you still have to pretend to have that tea party with Ariel, then click subscribe below because that's exactly what we talk about and you will never miss another episode. How do you parent when you're in dorsoventral, freeze, shutdown? How do you parent when you're having a flashback? How do you parent when you're triggered? How do you parent when you're really, really, really upset because your narcissistic ex just did something horrible to you? How do you parent when you've been up all night with the newborn and you have PTSD and that's triggering you into a completely hyper-aroused state and now your 5-year-old wants you to read him a story or roughhouse with you or get him to kindergarten on time? What do you do? So here's the thing. Relief is in sight. I actually wrote that book. It's called Post-Traumatic Parenting, and it's all about how do you parent if you're traumatized? How do you parent if you're really, really sad? So here's the thing. It's very interesting because when I started out writing this book, I really thought I was going to teach people how to parent as a verb. And I was going to teach them exactly what to do. These are the books you should read with your kids, and these are the parenting books you should read, and this is how you should handle it when your toddler pushes another kid, and this is how you should handle it when your kid doesn't want to eat peas. And I really thought that was the book that I was going to write because I get asked these kind of questions all the time. I've had these questions. So I started writing that book, but I realized, wait a minute. And I had this experience where when I was a post-traumatic parent, when I first became a parent, I had this burning question. Will my damage them? Will my PTSD, will my trauma be passed down to them? I'm a cycle breaker, but can I be a cycle maker? I know what I don't want to do. What do I yes to? I had these questions and I would read these parenting books. Like I remember reading Parenting from the Inside Out, fabulous book. I remember reading How to Talk So Kids Will Listen, How to Listen So Kids Will Talk. I remember reading, the What to Expect books. I remember reading, T. Berry Brazelton, just like all these parenting books. And so many of them would talk about things like share your calm with your child. Or they would say things like, you are going to be the sturdy, secure attachment figure for your child. But I felt so damaged. I felt like I don't know how to do that. They're in Inside Out, which is a fabulous movie about emotions. If you're on this post-traumatic parenting journey, there's a scene where Joy is like, find the fun. Joy is like the emotion joy in the little girl's brain. And the sadness emotion says, I don't know how to do that. And she kind of collapses. And that's how I felt. I don't know how to share my calm. I don't have calm to share. I don't know how to be a safe, stable, secure presence to a child because I have PTSD and I don't ever feel safe. So how do I share my calm and make my kid feel safe when I don't feel safe? I don't know how to do that. So I'd read these books, and I am a child development expert. I was literally working in a child development lab studying best parenting practices for infant temperament and for child temperament and how to help parents be better. But still, when I would read those parenting books and be a parent of my own kids, I would sit there thinking, I don't know how to do that. And I realized that there's an essential piece of information missing. It's not how to parent. Those books are out there. It's how to be a parent. Noun. I, as a parent. My trauma journey. How do I heal myself so that I can parent them? How do I parent myself first? How do I not let my inner child parent my real life children? Those were the questions I had. And as I started this journey, and I started this journey 26 years ago. When I started this journey, I really didn't know those answers. So I would read parenting book after parenting book, like, do this, not that, right? And that's basically parent this way, not that way. This is important, this isn't important, right? There's all these parenting books about what to do as a parent, but there's not a lot of how to be a parent as a noun. So I decided that I am going to write that book. So I'm going to tell you this right now. The what you do very often is not nearly as important as the why you do it. The what you do is not nearly as important as the function, right? So anything that I'm doing with my kids, my essential functional question is this action either kind of neutral, where I'm making a peanut butter sandwich for lunch because my kid likes peanut butter, and it's, hopefully they're going to think like, oh, well, my mom loves me, she made me my sandwich, but honestly speaking, a 2.5-year-old's probably not going to think that. Or is it working towards my relationship with my kid, making that relationship stronger and better, or working against my relationship with my kid? If I think about that central, essential question, it's very easy for me to think about. It's very easy for me to then make parenting decisions. Every decision I make is either towards my relationship with my child or going to weaken my relationship with my child. Even things I do that might cause my child distress. Right? If my 4-year-old is whacking my 2-year-old over the head with a toy truck, and I say, all right, we can't play safely with a toy truck right now, so toy truck is going on the top shelf, because I believe in controlling the environment, not the child, until we can play safely with toy trucks again. Now we're going to play with soft toys. In the moment, my 4-year-old might get mad. My 4-year-old might even tell me that I'm the worst and meanest mommy in the world, and he hates me. That might happen. But that makes my relationship with my child stronger because, number one, it's a normative frustration that the child has to learn how to handle. Number two, I'm demonstrating that I am the safe and sturdy adult in the room who's going to protect everybody in the room and keep everybody in the room safe because I have good judgment and good discernment as the grown-up in the room. So that's going to make my relationship with my child stronger. If I sit on a couch because I'm really just in that dissociated state and I'm going to mindlessly scroll my phone for 4 hours, that's going to make my relationship with my kid weaker, even if my kid is perfectly happy having some screen time and, wow, mom didn't notice that I've been watching cartoons for the last 4 hours. This is great. Is that making the relationship stronger or weaker? I would argue it's making the relationship weaker. If it's making the relationship weaker, it's something I don't want to do. So what's the function of what I'm doing? Now, if I'm really stressed out and I know that I need to take the edge off of my stress right now because my edge is really sharp and I might unintentionally be mean or harsh to my kid because I'm feeling a lot of stress. So I'm going to scroll my phone for a half hour and let them have a couple extra minutes of screen time so that I can kind of self-regulate, calm myself down, become the parent again, restore myself into the parent, right? Parent as a noun, not parent as a verb. Then the function of that is making the relationship with my child stronger. Because right now I know that I'm at the end of my rope and I might just snap. And this is something I always talk about, the difference between self-care, self-maintenance, and anesthesia. Sometimes you need anesthesia. You need to numb a little bit and calm yourself down. Not excessively. If that's happening, get help. But in the short run, that can be a very good thing because I don't want to yell. And I know that if I calm myself down, nothing terrible is going to happen if my kid, watches an extra episode of Bluey. But something terrible would happen if I'm too stressed out and I end up yelling. So I'd rather not. So that's how to be a parent. And yeah, it really can be scary as a post-traumatic parent to say, like, I don't have an internal working model of attachment. I don't know what it's supposed to look like. Or I'm so traumatized because I went through so much recently and my stress response is so high. I'm in such a hyper-aroused, alert, vigilant state that I can't do the attunement, the tend and befriend. Like, I don't have the oxytocin to, like, sit there and be loving and present for my kid. What do? Yeah, it's a normal question, but there are answers. The problem is the answers aren't in any of the current parenting books. And they certainly weren't 26 years ago when I was looking for them. So I sat down to write that book and to share what I learned along this journey. But the key, most important thing that I discovered in this journey about parenting is the most important thing is I am the attachment figure. And I need to figure out what I need to do to be able to be that attachment figure and to free myself up to attach, to attune, attach, and attend to my children so that they have that important relationship. The what I do, whether I do puzzles or whether I give my kid music lessons or I don't, or we do extracurriculars or we don't, or if I feed them an organic diet or we don't, is not nearly as important as what will allow me to be a present, sturdy, stable parent for my child. Everything else is window dressing. The attachment relationship, doing whatever it takes to have an attachment relationship, that's the key primary factor. So sometimes it's not how to parent, it's how to be the parent. And how to be the parent means doing what it takes to parent your inner child so your inner child doesn't parent your actual child. And that can be done. I am here to tell you that that can be done because parenting as a verb is a skill, and any skill can be learned. Managing our triggers, managing our trauma, healing our inner child is also a skill. And we can learn that. We can learn how to be a parent. My AIM model that I really talk about a lot in the book, acceptance, integration, and meaning. Right? Accepting that what happened to us, not engaging in the counterfactual thinking, trying to make it not have happened so that we don't waste psychological resources on our brain trying to undo our trauma. We sort of accept it happened, is step one. Integration, integrating what I learned from that trauma, my coping skills, the parts of myself that are never going to change. Like for me, I'm a really light sleeper. I had to integrate that and figure out workarounds for that. I have to integrate the fact that my losses and my trauma is what taught me to value relationships so much. It's my superpower. So integrating that into my personality and into my parenting plan. And finally, mission. This is my mission in life. These are my values. These are my parenting values. I have a parenting mission statement, and I check in with myself and with my spouse and with my kids to see if we're sticking to that mission statement. I can do that. That AIM model doesn't just heal me from my trauma. It's how I parent and how I turn my trauma into a parenting superpower. It absolutely can be done. So if you sit here feeling damaged by your damage and thinking, I don't know how to do that, know that parenting's a skill can be learned. The being part, as you heal, will get better and better. And in parenting, we are parented. So as we parent our real life children, our inner child learns to heal because it witnesses parenting done right, and it heals, and it watches that and experiences that from the standpoint of the giver rather than the receiver, and it starts to heal. So parenting isn't just healthy, it's healing. So if you're a post-traumatic parent and this was hopeful, if you like this, if you have some questions about exactly how one does that, please comment below. Please share this with one post-traumatic parent you know, because the Post-Traumatic Parenting Project, the Post-Traumatic Parenting Community, the book that is forthcoming, only exists because one post-traumatic parent at a time told another post-traumatic parent, and our community grew and grew and grew. Check out the Post-Traumatic Parenting podcast. If you want to hang out where other post-traumatic parents hang out, check out at Dr. Kozlowitz Psychology on Instagram. That's where the post-traumatic parenting community is, and you can interact, and we have all sorts of resources for you. So glad that you're here, and yes, you can do this. We get it. We've been there. We're post-traumatic parents too. Till next time.